What's up, sons? It's Blind Rod with Son of a Tech once again, and today we have the new beta firmware for the Osprey E300 to mine Radiant coins. So worried about Ironfish moving to GPU only? Worry not, you do have something else to mine yet again on the Osprey E300. The support over here has been amazing. A quick backstory for you guys before we get into it. They sent me this unit for testing, and I had been going through a ton of different personal life issues as far as handling health, etc., and didn't really quite get to it. And then about a week later, or a week before this, I went ahead and reached out and said, hey, we're going to delay the review because I have a newer model, the V33P instead of the V35P, and they said that's fine, but we do have a new firmware coming out. Check out the Radiant firmware. So that is what we're doing today. The announcement is official on the Osprey Electronics Twitter account. Says, hello Ospreyers, I think is how that goes. Thanks for your waiting. We uploaded the beta version on the below link. It's at a Dropbox link, and it is integrated for Radiant on the 35P, the VU35P CIV, and the VU33P. The final one there being the which one we're going to flash today. They fixed change host name. You can download and make the manual upload, and it gives you the firmware version here. The mining log when you mine Radiant will show on miner log webpage after clicking the start button around 3 minutes. They suggest that you run with a set of core clock at 450 megahertz and a VCC int at 625 millivolts, or core clock at 500 megahertz with the V-synced at 670 millivolts. We are improving the loading bitstream speed, hash rate, and streaming log, and we'll release a new version soon, they go on to say, and then we are going to hop into it. I have already downloaded it. I am not on site for the farm, so I am VPN'd into my farm to go ahead and make these changes real quick. And then I have, their sales page up here. If you're interested in purchasing one after this, please check the description for current coupon codes as well as links to the product. And let's go ahead and hop on over to the miner itself. Once you get logged in, the main thing you're going to need to do is go over to update firmware. After that, you're going to actually click this little drop down button and click manual, and then click save, and then click OK. At this point, you can choose the file, so it'll pop open your file explorer. It did for me, but you can't see it, but I'm going to go ahead and select the file that we downloaded earlier, click open, and then click upgrade firmware. All right, so now that we have it updated, the current version will show N2.0.22 RCO2. At this point, I think we can go ahead and go down to the miner configuration. This will be Whitefire, and then we're going to use the menu configuration option. We'll leave auto start on, and we will select the algorithm as Radiant. The pool that we're going to go ahead and utilize will be Viper Pool at viper.net. They have a handy dandy millisecond counter here, latency counter here, for you to see which pool is best for you. We're going to go ahead and copy that address out and head back on over to our Osprey settings and paste that in here. I'm going to go ahead and get my Radiant address and paste that into the Radiant address here. Apparently we have white spaces somewhere, probably over here. There we go. We'll just go ahead and leave it named as E300. I am going to put the VU33P. So we have that denoted. And then according to them, the core clock will go with the higher core clock at the 500 megahertz. And we'll need to set the V-sync to 670. Got to stop the miner from running its previous one, which was the Team Red miner. I don't know if it saved that. Hopefully it did. We'll go ahead and refresh it. Hit miner log, miner configuration. Then we'll go ahead and click the start button. Actually, let's go ahead and check the settings here. And we'll set this to the 675 that was recommended. 670. We'll do that to all FPGAs and click apply. It says success. And we'll go to our miner configuration and click start. And my understanding is you have to wait up to 3 minutes for it to start mining with this beta configuration. So we'll just hit the logs, sit back, relax, and see what we end up getting. It looks like it has started cranking along, but we're going down in hash rate as we continue. It looks like we started out at about 6 gigahash a second, and it has kind of started settling back down. It is hot over at the farm, so let's go ahead and give that a little bit of a leeway there. You can see we're at 53 degrees Celsius on the boards, and we're showing about 4.3 gigahash a second on this particular unit. Now at the 670 millivolts, if we take a look at their stats page, you can go to the VU33P here and look and see that it's probably somewhere between 256 and 300 watts. Let's see if there's anything closer. Here's 675. That's the problem is like depending on the algorithm, that shows 161 watts. I am not at the farm, so we'll have to test this later. Initially, what I'm seeing on the VU35P is that Rapid Mining is reporting 7 gigahash a second at 500 on the core. And then he is getting about 261 watts. I think what I will go ahead and do here is go ahead and turn this core voltage down and then turn the speed down to their original recommended of 450 megahertz at 625 millivolts and see if that works better in my operating temperatures. So I'm going to stop the miner, change the clock, and change the voltage to 625. Apply the change there. Go back to the miner configuration. Take this back down to 450 once again and click start. Go ahead and go to the logs, and then we'll give it a little bit and then we'll check back after a tad. It looks like this is a little bit less, around 3.2 to 4.3 gigahash a second. Depending on the wattage, this could be very good. Worst case, it is still on par with the K1, which was recently added support at 18.23 megahash per watt. And I just do that calculation as 4,000 megahash a second divided by 300 watts, which I know it's definitely under that at this point. I'll get out to the farm later this week and check it out and let you guys know. We will also continue to be doing some monitoring on Viper.net and let you guys know exactly what that ends up being at the end of the day. So this will have to turn into a part 2, but if you have an E300 or an E100, depending on if it's the VU33P or the VU35P, please be sure to go ahead and get me your numbers down in the comment section below. Very excited to see Radiant support for the E300 coming in perfect timing as we get closer and closer to Ironfish moving to or back to GPUs only. We also have some other coins, including Decred, that I just heard an announcement of moving back to a GPU mineable only algorithm. So a lot of exciting news coming down the pipeline for GPU miners as well. I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, hit the like, comment, subscribe, and notification bells down below. Don't forget to check out part 2, and don't forget to check out the coupon codes down in the description. I will see you next Tuesday.